All right, so in this next demonstration, I'm going to go through setting up and modeling a garage from scratch. All right, so in this section, we're going to model this garage from scratch. We're going to track down our model organization guides from SketchUp's 3D warehouse, and we're going to import it into our model. And then we're just going to build a super simple like shed type garage. And I'm going to show you a couple different tricks on how to work with these model organization guides. All right, so let's get to that. All right, so first things first, we are going to get back to our layers panel, but for right now, in my components browser, I'm going to type in ConDoc, like that, and we'll go to our ConDoc collection. You can see that we've got a couple people that are working with our ConDoc collection. We're going to go to this Brightman Designs one. That's the one that I made, and that is like the official ConDoc collection. Now, check it out. We've got ConDoc Architect, and then we have ConDoc Interiors. So I can click on this thumbnail, and that is going to download this model, and then I can just very easily place it. Doesn't matter where you place it, but I will say this. I just placed it on the origin, but you don't want to place it really far away from where you're building your model. You want to like build your model right next to it. That's kind of the ideal situation. All right, so now we've got our ConDoc Architect, and check this out. With my layers, you can see that when I bring this in, it does in fact bring in all of my ConDoc Architect layers. So we're good to go there. That would also happen if I clicked on the design button, which honestly, I always just click the design button. That gets my design scene in there, it gets all my styles set up the way that I want it. And so now at this point, I'm pretty well set up on my new project, all right? So we've got all of our layers, we've got our model organization guide. That's it. I mean, it's pretty simple. You just pull this in, and now we can start putting geometry into our SketchUp model. Now, here's the thing. There's kind of two different ways to use these model organization guides. You can either double click in and find where you want to model, and so like get into the right nested group of the model organization guide, and then build your model, you know, in each place where it's supposed to be. Or you can just kind of build things and cut and paste in place. All right. So I think the easiest thing to understand is modeling things where they're supposed to be. So we're going to do that first. And then after that, I'm going to show you the way that I usually work, which is I just kind of start modeling things and then I cut it and I paste it where it's supposed to be. So let's get to that. All right, so to build a garage, the first thing I would do is I'd say, well, let's get some walls exterior new. All right, so I'm just going to double click and see it's locked and it won't let me go any further. And you can see that I'm at the perfect part of my model there. All right, so what I can do now is use my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw like a 12. Let's do like I'll say 15 feet, comma 30 feet, like that. All right, so like that, and then I'm going to use my offset tool, and I'll offset to the outside by 5.5 inches. So I hit 5.5, enter. All right, so next I'm going to use my push-pull tool, and I'm going to pull this rectangle up by say 96 inches, which is going to be 8 feet. And then you can see I've got my walls, but then I also have the floor. Okay, right now I think I'm just going to delete that. We're not going to do the cut and paste just yet. Well, I'm going to back out of all of this, and let me show you what has happened now. If I go to all off, everything disappears. And in order to see my walls appear, I'm going to need to turn on our level element location condition. Now we don't actually have a level yet, so we don't have a level layer. So we're just going to use element location condition right now. So we'll go to element, we're going to go to walls. So I can turn on my walls, and then I'm going to go with exterior, and then I'm going to go with new. And when I get those switches all turned on, that's when I see my geometry. All right. So, and then we can go back to all on, and then I can see my model organization guide. Now, just to not complicate things, let me just explain, when you pull in this model organization guide, it does have that outer shell for the level. We haven't run the plan generator yet, so we don't have the level. But also the truth is that we don't really need the level for this particular model because it's only a one-story plan. But we won't mess with that just yet. I'll show you some tricks when we do some advanced tips on there. And I'll kind of explain some of the ways that you can, really move faster, even faster with your model organization guides. All right, so right now we've got our exterior new walls. So next I am going to build the, let's go with interior floors, interior new. So I'm going to find floors, interior new. I can just double click on that till it turns red. And at this point, I can just use my rectangle tool and I can draw my floors in here. All right, like that. So then I'll use my push-pull tool and I'll pull this floor down by, say, 4 inches like that. All right, so we've got our floor. So now, again, you can go to your element layers and you can see that my floors are controlled. Check this out. Watch what's happening with both my floor and my model organization guide. The floors are turning off like that. All right, and then check out the walls. You can see that the walls disappear here and they disappear over here. So that's what I really love about these model organization guides. I mean, what a teaching tool this is. I mean, I've been trying to explain this level, element, location, condition thing for literally years, and there's just something to it that's like it's invisible. It's hard to see it, and honestly, I think these model organization guides just make it so much clearer as to what is happening with our layering system. So let's keep going. The next thing I'm going to do is let's build our foundation. All right, so to do that, I might just I'm going to start modeling here at this kind of base level. All right, and I'm going to do that cut and paste and place thing I was telling you about. So the first thing I would do, I just need to set up my foundation. I'm going to pull this wall down by, say, 12, and maybe pull it down again by 12, and let's see, I'll pull it this way by 4, and then pull it the other way by 4, and just do like a quick foundation here. Now I'm going to delete this edge, and then I'm going to triple click it and see all this other geometry is contained within those groups. So when I triple click, it just grabs that kind of loose geometry that hasn't been organized yet. I'm going to hold Control and Shift and double click, and that's going to deselect that profile, and then I'll just hit delete. All right, so now what I need to do is create a path, and I'm just going to draw a quick rectangle like this. And so now I've got a path. Let's see, let me try that again. With my rectangle tool, I missed my click over here. We'll go from here to here. All right, so now I have a path. All right, so let me just select my path, and then I'm going to activate my Follow Me tool. That's this guy over here, Follow Me, and then click on my profile. All right, so there's my foundation. It just kind of zipped around there. And then you can see that I'm going to triple click this, and there's my foundation. Again, it's separated by those groups. All right, now I'm going to cut this. I'm going to hit Edit and choose Cut. So I pulled that geometry out of this model. It's sitting on my clipboard. All right, it's ready to be pasted where I need it to be, because right now it's sitting at the base level. It doesn't have any layers applied to it. So I need to go get into the foundation exterior new container and paste this foundation in place. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to come over here to my model organization guide, and we've got our foundation exterior new. With my select tool, I just drill right in there till it turns red and stops me from clicking. I'm going to zoom out and go to Edit and choose Paste in Place. It's going to drop it right where it's supposed to be. The other thing I'm going to do is right click and choose Reverse Faces. It just bugs me when things aren't, it doesn't have the front face looking out. So check it out. I didn't have to make a group. I didn't have to assign a layer. And now I'm going to go over to my foundation layer and turn it off, and check it out. Now my foundation is in the right place. So you can see there is no longer any need for you to manually create groups, and there's no longer any need for you to manually assign a layer to those groups. That's a lot of work we've eliminated. All right, so we did our paste in place, and let me double check what's going on here. I've got like a double surface here. What did I do? Let's see, I think it was probably in this foundation. Yeah, so I don't want to have this surface here, so I just need to delete that. And now we don't have those flickering surfaces anymore. What's kind of cool too is something to keep in mind is once things are kind of put into place, I don't necessarily always have to go over here and say, well, I want my walls exterior new. I've already got exterior new walls. If I want to work on my exterior walls, I just double click on them. They're already layered up, they're ready to go. So it's just a much more intuitive way of working. Once you get going, just use what you've already set up. You don't have to go back to those model organization guides every time. All right, let's draw a roof. I'm going to go to my rectangle tool and draw a big rectangle on here. I'm going to do an offset, and let's say 18-inch offset. I'm going to double click on that first rectangle and delete it, and then pull this up by say 6 inches. And then let's do another follow me. I'm just going to draw like a kind of a big big triangle here. And you know what? This is actually a good advanced tip. We don't want to just throw like a roof on there without a pitch. I'm on my protractor tool, and I'm going to set up a roof pitch, and we're going to go with a 1 to 4. So 1:4, enter. And now that pitch is 1 to 4. I can use my line tool and then go up top, and then we're going to use our follow me tool to wrap this roof around that path. So I pre-select my path, activate my follow me tool, and then click on my profile. And there's my roof. All I need to do now is just kind of draw in this line. That's an easy fix, and get rid of this extra geometry that was created. I got to tell you too, just this is a quick plug. All this follow me tool, move tool, all these basic skills that you need to kind of generate geometry. We do have a course, SketchUp for Professionals. It's 12 hours long. 9 hours of it is 100% free of charge. The extra 3 hours, which is well worth it, is $100. So check that out at SketchUpForProfessionals.com. If you need to learn SketchUp and you want to learn it my way, I promise you it's everything you need to know, nothing that you don't need to know. We have eliminated all the fluff. All right, so I can erase this guide, and let's get back in here and just take a look at what we've got. So our roof is sitting at the base level of SketchUp. It's not inside of any of these containers. It's just, geometry on layer 0. And so I need to take this and cut it. This time I'm going to use Control X. All right, so that's like the default shortcut for cut. All right, now I'm going to go to Roof Exterior New, and I'll just drill in right there. All right, and so now I don't see any geometry. I need to go to Edit and choose Paste in Place. But I got to tell you, I use this command all the time, day in and day out, Control-Shift-V. That is what I use as my shortcut. So I'm going to go exterior new, and then I'm going to do Control-Shift-V. There's my roof, just like that. Back out of here, and now my roof is in the correct place. So now the roof is controlled there. Cool? All right. So, we're getting close on getting this model built, but I just want to add a little bit more detail, and then we're gonna get into running our ConDoc tool. So let's just finish the building up. I'm gonna add 2 doors on the front of it, make those like 3-foot doors. I'll make them 4 foot. Make this like a shed, and then we're gonna add some windows down the line. All right. So once you're ready to kind of continue to work on this thing, I just need to drill in here. And then I can do, I'll use my select tool, double click on this surface here. I'll hold Control and Shift, and then remove the surface and the edge from my selection, and then just do an offset like that. Then I'm going to use my select tool to pre-select this surface and use my scale tool. And if I scale it and click to finish, I can easily type in 7 feet, enter, and scale that piece to be exactly 7 feet. This one, I can hold Control and scale it about the center point. In this one, I'm gonna make it 8 feet, enter. So now this opening is 8 feet wide by 7 feet tall, like that. And use my push-pull tool to push that in. Next, I'm gonna add some windows down the line here. So we'll go with like 2 feet and then maybe make them a 3-foot window. We'll make them kind of those longer, like only 18 inches off the ground. And then I'm gonna tap the up arrow key to constrain on the blue and then set that window head height at the same as my garage door. That was like 7.6. Use my rectangle tool to snap to my origin point or my intersections, and then pre-select, use my move tool and make a copy of this at 4 feet, enter. And we want to do that 4 times. So 4x, enter. And we get 4 copies. I can now switch over to my push-pull tool and double click on each one of these, and that's gonna repeat the same push-pull. And I missed that last one, so I'll do that one manually. So that is how you kind of get things carved out. So you need to carve out all of your openings using just those basic tools. I gotta tell you that SketchUp for Professionals course, that is how you learn all these little move, line tools, stickiness of geometry. If you're self-taught, it'll drive you nuts. If you watch that SketchUp for Professionals course, it's gonna just solve all those headaches. Honestly, it's just being told the right way to do things and just knowing that that's the best way is so much easier than teaching yourself. And we'll break all those bad habits. Okay, to kind of finish up this model, let's go to components. And again, we're on our ConDoc component collection. So I'll drop a door in here first. So we download our ConDoc door, and then I'll just click here and use my rotate tool and rotate that by 90. And then I'm gonna move it and put it right into place right here. And I'm gonna make a copy of that and copy it straight over here. Use my scale tool to flip it to -1. So I can just scale it and then type -1, enter. And then I'm gonna select both of these doors and use my scale tool. And see these ConDoc doors, what's so cool about them is see how those 2D graphics, those door swings they're distorting. But if I pull it over here and then click, it rebuilds those. So these are like these 3D models that have spreadsheets and rules attached to them. I've already figured it all out for you. All you have to do is just download this ConDoc door, drop it in your model. It's gonna show up correctly on plan. You just stretch it around. Same thing for the ConDoc window. I'm gonna rotate this one by 90 degrees like that. And then we're gonna move it into place. I need to snap to that endpoint, snap to that endpoint. And then I'll use my scale tool. And then I can scale this and see again, it's distorting. You can see it distort. And then when I click, it rebuilds itself based on rules that I've set. Again, it's distorted, click, and then it rebuilds itself. All right, so now this one, I'm gonna scale it. I might just, I'll orbit around. It's kind of easier to understand if I just orbit around like this and then snap it to the back. And so that way our window is kind of flush on both sides. All right, so now I'm gonna make a copy of this and we're gonna type 4x, enter, like that. So 4 equal copies down the line. We've got our windows, we've got our doors, but they are not in the proper group. They don't have a group or a layer, a container. So see, these are just floating out in space in SketchUp. SketchUp doesn't know that these are windows. So I need to take all of my exterior windows and cut them, Control X, and then come over here to my Windows, Exterior New, and then do a paste in place. Control Shift V is my shortcut for paste in place. And see, there they sit. Next thing, let's hop over here and grab these 2 doors, Control X to cut those. And we've got our doors. Let's see, doors, exterior new, like that. I don't even have to see it. I can just hit Control Shift V and those drop into place just like that. Looking good. All right, so at this point, I'm gonna just make a quick check on this model. All right, so I would just drill into my roof and hide the rest of the model. And I just want to make sure that, like, you know, all the geometry is clean. I just hid that. I'll unhide it. Let's check out our walls. I might double click into there and just take a look around. Make sure that everything is basically a solid. You know, you can always look at your entity info dialog. You know, it looks like I'm sure I have like a floating edge somewhere in there. And I'm not going to take the time to fully clean that up, but right now we're good. Actually, it's because of our model organization guide. So that is a solid. We're good. All right, and then our doors and our windows are good. So I'm satisfied there. The foundation, yeah, that was looking a little bit goofy. See how we didn't quite get that top in? So I'm going to use my line tool, and I'm just going to kind of reheal that surface. And then this one, I will hold Control and Shift with my eraser tool and unsoften that. That was kind of a weird way that I used to build that and follow it around, but you know, no big deal. You just go through and give it a once over and double check for, you know, missing surfaces, kind of reheal everything. Just the more time you spend making your models clean, it's so much more valuable than a sloppy model. All right, so we're good on foundation, walls, doors, windows, and roof. So I think we're in good shape.